Hey guys, Masterkizz back with some Borderlands 2 for you today, of course, and this is a bit of a requested video. A lot of people have been commenting and sending messages lately asking to see my build that I use, but I don't use one build when I play. If you fight a lot of bosses and do a lot of different things, you'll probably like me and you constantly change your build, so I thought I'd show you a couple of different ones in the video. I'm not going to really go over them. I'm just going to show them on the screen. You can pause it, have a look, compare it to your own if you use a Siren, and see how you go. But the first one here we've got is Terramortus, and that's the build I use. Incidentally, the build I use for Terramortus, Caustic Pete, and the bunker is exactly the same. I don't change the build for those particular fights. The only thing I do change is usually relics. So in this particular fight, I found that using a fire damage relic, which is the one right there, the elemental relic, which gives me 28% fire damage, really hurts Terramortus, especially when I use the fire Sandhawk coupled with a B shield. Really good. How do you like my new fancy titles? It took so long to render this video because there's one of those titles on every single boss. It takes a lot of computing power to render that flame effect out, but I like it. I think it looks cool. I always like to try and make the videos look as professional as possible. But yeah, with Terramortus, I mean, basically, you can hide behind the rock over to the left there if you want, but if you're a spec like this, you have a fire Sandhawk to be the fire relic. If you have the skills in the right places, you can pretty much well beat him without having to get behind the rock. You may need to step back if he does get close to you, so you may have to dodge a certain attack, but in most cases, he'll pop up twice, and then the third time is when he'll get close to you. When I actually have Ruin on, you see when I hit him with the phase lock, he turns pink when he gets slagged, so he actually takes double the damage from the Sandhawk. Sandhawk with the B already does huge damage to him, but when he's slagged like that... But the thing is, Terramortus has an effect where, see, he's slagged and then he pretty much will instantly washes it off. So a tip with a Sandhawk is try and shoot a few bursts out, and wait until the bursts are airborne, then slag him. So as he gets slagged, the Sandhawk bullets will hit him and it'll do much more damage. But he was just about dead there. I hit him with a Norfleet just to be stylish. It's all about being stylish. No loot, unfortunately, so we'll move on to the next enemy. And the next enemy is Caustic Pete. So you'll see the build is exactly the same. The only thing I change in this fight is the Sandhawk. I changed to an electrical one instead of a fire one, and I use that Allegiance relic there. It gives me the plus 61% magazine size and almost plus 50% burst delay. What that means is, I should say minus 50% burst delay. What that means is when you use a Sandhawk, you probably notice that when you shoot the button, push the trigger to actually shoot the Sandhawk when it's zoomed in, it bursts, and then when you go to push it again, there's a delay between the time you can actually push the button and have another burst come out. What that relic does is it halves the time that it takes to actually get another burst out, which means you can put pretty much, well, 50% more bullets on your target in 50% of the time, which is really handy. So you can see how quickly I can actually shoot this Sandhawk in this fight now. I can absolutely pour bullets out. We were testing it the other night in the stream, and it made a huge difference. The damage you do is pretty much exactly the same. It doesn't increase your damage, but it decreases the time it takes to do that damage. And the fight is pretty much well over already. I mean, with a Sandhawk with the electrical element and a good B shield and ability to slag him, you can just tear him up. And there we go. He's one of my favourite bosses to farm at the moment, and he's been dropping good legendaries lately too. Good fun. Now we're on to the bunker. I thought I'd include the bunker purely because a lot of people have been farming him lately after seeing a lot more about the sham with the Logan's gun, and everybody's trying to get a good sham. I've farmed him lots and lots of times, and I've never got a legendary drop from him, unfortunately. So, but yeah, I thought I'd include it in here just to show that the build I use for Pete and Terramortus also work on the bunker. And yeah, this is an identical build to what you just saw in Pete, so nothing changed whatsoever. The build's the same, the relics are the same, the weapons are the same. So I'd say that's probably my most commonly used build, the one I use with Caustic Pete. But like I said at the start of the video, a lot of people wanted to see my build, as in what build I use, but there's not really a single build you can use, especially when you want to do different things, take on different raid bosses. You constantly have to change. So the bunker is a bit of a pushover with this particular setup. If you can get those critical hits, the only thing that can slow it down is if you get bots downstairs here. They sometimes spawn, they'll do a bit of damage to you and drop your shield, so you won't be able to get the amp damage, but otherwise, a few bullets into his critical points in his eyes there, and he's absolutely a pushover. Again, I didn't get any loot from him, so I think I just flick a shot at him, make sure he dies, and then I cut the video. So, but yeah, unfortunately no loot. You see, I just got Bunker Buster. I just reset all my challenges the other day. I might talk about that later. And here we are back at a very familiar place. This is Hyperion. So the Hyperion setup is slightly different to the other ones, but the main thing that changes is I put a little bit of points in, I think it's Restoration, so that gives me a little bit more max health, and that allows me to survive 2 Nova Blasts consecutively. A lot of people spec differently in this fight, and there's no wrong or right way to spec, but that particular way I can be hit by 2 Nova Blasts and then I can start healing. A lot of people spec so they can sort of either heal or do more damage, but they still have to use the ruby directly after the first blast there. So see, I can survive 2, now I can heal. That's why I like to build like that. In the live stream the other day, I noticed, I think I had about 6 or 7 skill points left over, and looking at the skill trees, I said to people in the stream, I said, I bet you I could just go in and beat him without even spending those extra points. And I did, I walked in and beat him, because most of the other points for the Siren only help with phase lock and things like that. So yeah, I think I had about 6 or 7 extra points, and I didn't even need to spend them to beat Hyperion. This is a slightly different technique here. I'm using the Fire Sandhawk, and I actually more enjoy the fight when I use the Sham Shield and the Northleets, because I think it's a lot cooler way to beat him, but this is a much faster way. And I think in a lot of cases this would probably be more accessible to people to get themselves a half-decent V-Shield of Fire Sandhawk. I use a Northleet to kill the bots, or to drop the bots' connection to Hyperion, but you can use any rocket launcher. If you have a Batter Boom or something like that, a couple of shots down at their feet will drop their connection to Hyperion. Once their connections drop, that's when Hyperion takes damage, and once you drop his connection like that, he only does a shield breaker Nova. He doesn't do a double Nova, so just keep that in mind. If you drop the shield with a hit to those bots, he'll only ever do a single Nova to actually attack your shield. That's something to keep in mind. The only reason he'll do a double Nova is when he gets to this stage, when he goes aggro, or when he reconnects to the bots. That's another time he'll actually do a double Nova. There's something weird there. He actually did a triple Nova, and I have no idea how I survived it. I had nowhere near enough health. I think something must have bugged out there. It was just weird. You can see with the Stormfront out using the Ruby, I can just heal so quickly. I can just pretty much negate all of the damage that Hyperion is doing to me. I actually really enjoy this fight now. I don't mind coming here and fighting Hyperion at all. I just wish his drop rate was a bit better. So here I'm a bit worried because I had barely any health, so I walk up. I've got more than enough ammo in the Northleet, and because I've still got points in Immolate, it means I get a good damage bonus with Fire Element when I'm put down. And it means I can take out Hyperion quite comfortably. Anyway, the last fight that I decided to feature is the Voracity one. Again, the build is similar to the Hyperion one, but the biggest change is I changed the class mod to use the Banshee class mod that gives me +6 in Immolate. So a lot of people have probably already seen this, and a lot of this stuff I've already covered in other videos, but I thought it'd be nice to put it all together, show the skill trees, and then go and do the fight after I show the trees, just to show that it is possible and they are the trees I am using. But yeah, having the +6 class mod and +5 points spent in Immolate means that once I'm put into Fight for My Life, I get a 110% damage bonus from fire weapons as a flame element. So that means when I get put down and I'm holding that Fire Northleet, I'm basically unstoppable. I like to start this fight with the B now. I put one on the Chief and then I switch to the Sham. And what that means I can do is I can get put down now quite comfortably, and I can just unload on Voracity with the Northleet. And you'll see that damage there. I mean, that's 3 shots and he's just over halfway. I get another one on him, and then I flick, put one on the Chief, And now something that's important, you want to try and take these midgets out quickly before you get put down, because if you get put down and you're trying to shoot Voracity, you will get revives from those midgets, and what will happen is you'll go down too many times and your bleed out time won't reset and you'll end up dying. But there we go, Voracity done quite comfortably. Anyway guys, that was the first video I've uploaded since I'm a partner with a TGS network now. I'm with the Game Station. So thanks for all the support on the channel. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions about anything, you feel free to follow me on Twitter. I generally am fairly active on there. I'll answer questions. That's where I also announce all of the live streams. It's hard for me to upload videos that say, I'm doing a live stream, here you go. If I can just announce it on Twitter, it's much easier. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed that one. Until the next video, we'll see you later.